All right, good evening. This is not too long after the video I just posted. I just want to explain something. Two things I wanted to explain. Let me say the two things. So one is I wanted to explain about how I got no love anywhere. Number two was how I made it known and didn't just ignore it and pass by. I uh, I always came back with the kind of a comeback. This is how we call it. So allow me to explain. So first, I told you when I was about from the time I was 12 to the time I was 14. Now that was like 2 to 3 years, right? Now when I was 12, so I told you, I made friends with these two guys at the end of sixth grade, and then in beginning of seventh grade, we turned out to be in the same class. All three of us made the basketball team, so we were spending time in practice as well. So we would go to practice together. Uh, we did everything together, pretty much. You know what I mean? Um, Okay, so I will tell you another thing that's gonna sound really weird. I had, I would say friends when I was a kid, and I found out that a lot of them were gay when they grew up. I had no idea. They didn't act like gay guys. In fact, some of them would even make fun of gays, or make they love making fun of gay guys. Oh, this guy's an faggot, f these gays, whatever. And then when they got older they were hiding the fact that they were gay, which is very strange. But a lot of, and I think back now, and I know that some of them actually wouldn't have minded if I was to do them, to be very honest. Now, something that I have never really fallen into, I kind of, I can't do the whole gay, even gay jokes and stuff. I can't do. I have no issue, by the way, with anyone of LGBTQ. I just don't. It's just something that I just don't really engage in. Never have. So, anyways. Back to the no love thing. So I told you from 12 to 14. Now you might be saying, well, what about all these other years? Okay, so let's break it down. Let's really, 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 really break it down. Okay, I'll be honest. It's gonna sound really bad, but this is the truth, and this is from the very beginning, and this is the truth. Whenever I went, let's say I made a friend in school, or I made a friend, right? And I went up to his block to play basketball or do something. And I'm talking prior to being 12 years old. All the time prior to being 12 years old. I would meet their parents, say hi to them or whatever. They'd smile, and it would be the same thing. They wouldn't give me shit. Other than water, because I needed water. You know what I mean? You need to drink water. So other than water, I didn't get shit. There was no hey man, blah, blah, nothing like that. Okay, there was no love. And I'm serious. There was no love. Even their parents would, and there were times that I was told, oh, my mom said that I shouldn't hang out with you. You know what I mean? So that was a reality, and that's for people who want to bullshit. Now, that's in the younger years. Now, after 14, when I stopped hanging out with these guys, and the reason I stopped was because they went to different schools and they had their own lives, and I had my own life, and so I eventually was like, okay, what am I gonna do hanging out with these guys anymore? You know what I mean? So I mean, I'll tell you honestly, like I really tried. There was a time when there were guys and girls that I didn't like at all, and I thought to myself, because I had heard an auntie or older women, and like I had an auntie that used to tell me all the time that you have to socialize, that you are antisocial, and your life is not going to become successful or normal until you learn to socialize. Doesn't matter who the people are, you got to learn to socialize with whoever you can socialize with. So I thought, okay, let's put it into practice. So there were some kids who used to give open invitations to anybody who wanted to hang out with them. So I thought, okay, let me take this invitation. So I would hang out with them sometimes, and all I could think about was how stupid it was. Number one, the funny thing was that apparently there were so many girls in the group, and every time I went to hang out, none of the girls would show up. I don't know why it was, whenever I went to hang out with him, and I didn't have any issues with girls, so I thought, if they have girls hanging out with my, the little extra incentive for me, but there were no girls that would show up. Um, and it just got stupid to the point where I was just like, man, I don't want to hang out with these guys. Within like a month or something, I don't want to hang out with these guys at all, man. All right, then you had these guys. Uh, there are guys who want gangster dick. I'll be honest. There are guys. They're a little weird sometimes, a little anti, and they're on gangster dick. Like they feel like they need gangsters to be themselves, or to have a bravado. They need to hang out with a gangster to have a bravado. So they hang out with this gangster and they feel that bravado when they hang out with them. You know what I mean? They're basically on gangster dick. Yeah, I mean, there are guys like that. There were guys like that, every now and then. Now, okay, I'll give you another example. So, there was these guys who claimed to be my friends or whatever. Same thing happened. Went to their house. Their mom said something. Never went back to their house again. Okay. Then they were like, hey, we'd like to stay hang out with you just outside of our house. You know what I mean? Or whatever. I'm like, okay. At some point, they were just like, no, we don't want to hang out with this guy. Okay. One of the guys, he basically just he just disappeared without telling anybody. He disappeared. He apparently went to a new school or something. Didn't tell anybody. Nobody saw him. Nobody knew anything about him. Couple of years later, I see him somewhere. Hey, what's up? What's going on? And I hang out with him like one time. I didn't want to hang out with him at all. He was on that gangster dick, to be very honest. He loved gangster dick. But I didn't really get into that at all. There was a time when I I hung out with a criminal one time. He wanted to keep hanging. I didn't hang out with him again. And I'll be honest with you, because at that time, I had no idea about anything. I didn't even know who I was. I didn't know what I was doing or anything. I was totally lost. And one thing I did know was that this guy was getting into trouble, and that 100%, if I hung out with him, I would be getting in trouble too. I didn't want to get into legal trouble. I had a job and everything. I had my own apartment. I didn't want to get in, and I did it all without doing anything illegal. Like, I got my apartment. I had my job. I had a second job. I always used to manage to land a second job for a while and work a second job. So I could legally pay all my bills. I could eat food. I could pay my rent. And I could take care of my expenses by myself legally. So I had no desire to go into anything criminal or any kind of illegal world. And I didn't. But yeah, that was the deal. It was always no love. Even from guys who claim to be the nicest guys in the world, it was always no love. It was always no love city. It was always no love world. You know what I mean? So, I mean, what can I really say? You know what I mean? There's nothing else to say. But yeah, I want to clear that up. There was never any love. You know what I mean? There was never no love past anything. It just and that's how it was, And I don't know how people have the nerve after treating somebody the way that they treated them. Like, dude, you come to my house, you can only get a glass of water. I don't even want you coming to my house. Please don't come to my house. I don't want it. You know what I mean? When people treat you like that, and then later on they're talking about, oh, he was the best. Oh, we loved it. Oh yeah, he was really funny. Oh yeah, we used to hang out. And oh yeah, I love to hang out with him even today. It's like, dude, you didn't show me no fucking love, man. Go fuck yourself, man. And that goes for even people who claim to be the closest of closest. They gave me no fucking love, man. They gave me no love. They didn't want to hang out with me. They didn't want to do anything with me. And even people who thought they had some kind of bond with me, maybe they would get married or get a girlfriend or get married. And then it was like, I care about my girlfriend, my wife, and all her friends. So I saw guys who gave up all their friends. They got married. They gave up all their friends. And their wives' in-laws or their wives' families or their girlfriends' families were more important than people that were supposed to be their own family. They were closer with their in-laws. They had dropped all their friends to take up new friends who were all their wives' friends. Seeing people do stuff like that. It was like once they got married, was like, who is this guy? You know what I mean? They get married now. Even people are claiming to be so close, or they get married and it's like, fuck you. I went to I went to Florida when I was a kid. I decided to go back one day, and I went there, and it was no love, man. There was no love at all. It was like, what are you fucking doing here? You should have never came here. You know what I mean? The treatment was so fucking bad. It was like, go fuck yourself kind of treatment. You know what I mean? Why the fuck don't fucking ever come back here again? We don't want to fucking see you. By people who are claiming to be family. By the way, I have actually had certain aunt actually tell me, you're not my son. They like literally say that, am I your son? You're not my son. And that's the truth. You know what I mean? I've had her actually confess to me and tell me that you are not my son. We are not biologically related. You are not my son. I've been told that, like in person. You are not my. Am I really your son? No, you're not my son. We are not biologically related, and it should be very obvious to you that we're not. I don't know why you're only finding this out now. You should have known this at least since you became an adult. You know what I mean? I've had that happen. There was no love, man. There was no fucking love, man. There was no fucking... Dude, if there was love, right? Why the fuck was I eating a meal a day at best? And you know what the funny... I still remember one day, the aunt cooks a big beef curry or beef with rice or something in a big pot. You know what happens? All the motherfuckers living there go and get a plate. By the time I go to get a plate, the fucking food is done. I still remember that moment. And I was only, 9 or 10 years old. And that was a normal thing. Just having no food to eat was normal. I didn't have no fucking food to eat. I didn't even have my own fucking room, man. I had to share a fucking room with somebody who I didn't fucking like at all. I didn't